Greetings. I'm Dr. Dave Engelthaler, and I'm an associate professor and the director of TGen North, the Infectious Disease Division of the Translational Genomics Research Institute, or TGen. TGen is a nonprofit institute dedicated to making positive impact on human health with next-generation science and technology. And you're probably asking why a genomic scientist at a nonprofit is speaking to you about entrepreneurship. That's a good question. Hold that for a moment. I'm actually thrilled to be here today. I've had a long history with Moonshot and NACET and see it as a critical part of our thriving community. TGen and NACET are actually closely aligned. You may have heard me say it, but the T in TGen stands for translation. At TGen, we translate cool scientific findings into real-world applications to help detect disease and save lives. At NACET, these guys translate amazing innovation into real-world businesses. Let me just spend a moment on my background to give some context as to why I'm here today. This is actually my second stint in FLAG. After getting my bachelor's degree in wildlife biology in the 1980s at Northern Arizona University. So yeah, there's not really a straight line between field biology and entrepreneurship either. So after a few years of chasing elk and eagles with the Forest Service, I tried my hand at public health, and I earned a graduate degree in microbiology, and I became an epidemiologist, aka a disease hunter. Working for the State Health Department and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, I've worked on everything from hantavirus to the plague, to anthrax, to the original SARS virus and West Nile virus. I finished my government service after about 18 years as the state epidemiologist for Arizona, and then jumped ship over to TGen to build TGen North, the Flagstaff branch of this world-class institute. I went back to NAU and got my PhD in genomic epidemiology, and I've been trying to make the world a healthier place ever since, in whatever way I can. So, still there's the question, why am I here? A 3-time government employee turned nonprofit scientist. Hardly someone with much to say about building a profitable business. I agree. Except, I think you and I have something in common. We are both driven by a passion for something. We will do what it takes to make that passion a reality. Our thinking is not bound by other people's rules and structure. We are fueled by optimism and a desire to make a difference. We are restless. In essence, we are both entrepreneurs. I guess I probably should have also mentioned that I'm an inventor too, with over 24 patents to my name. And I've been a founder of both for-profit and nonprofit businesses. And I had better stop saying I, because in my world, the science world, success is a team sport. Behind every successful scientist and entrepreneur, there's a small army of talent who really help make the vision a reality. But it does take that vision and passion to create something out of an idea. So, working with another scientist, actually my boss at the time, and a couple of local entrepreneurs, I co-founded Pathogene LLC, an infectious disease molecular diagnostics company that we spun out of TGen. We exited with a sale after a few years, and the new company is alive and thriving in COVID times. I also worked with a team of community leaders to develop Flagstaff STEM City, a local nonprofit dedicated to bringing all the great science and technology assets in Flagstaff to bear on our local education system. STEM City is still going strong, and I was able to exit as chair of the board and leave it in much more capable hands. And that reminds me, the nonprofit space is full of entrepreneurs. It's essentially just a different funding model. We've spun out numerous businesses out of TGen that were first designed and tested and proven under a nonprofit banner. Of course, everything we do in this space is for the public good. Profits go back into research, and nobody gets rich doing it. But it's a heck of a way to determine if your idea has merit. And when it does, and it appears that it can be self-sustaining, then it has spun out to start a life of its own. More recently at TGen, working with an amazing cast of talent, we stood up the first CLIA-certified COVID clinical diagnostic testing lab in Arizona in record time. This incredible lab, using a novel COVID test that we also invented, has tested tens of thousands of Arizonans. We've also been the reference lab for sequencing thousands of SARS-CoV-2 genomes and tracking those variants throughout the course of the pandemic. We did this for one simple reason: because we could. You see, on the main wall inside my building, there are 2-foot-tall letters that spell out, "We have the ability, therefore we have the responsibility." It is our ethos. It is our guide rails. It sets the stage for what we should and shouldn't do. At TGen, we have this incredible scientific and technological ability. We therefore feel it's our responsibility to put those superpowers to work and to make the world a better place, however we can. It's also been my personal motto for most of my adult life. If I know I have the ability to make a difference, I have the responsibility to do it. It makes it pretty easy to get up every morning and get back into the fight every day. And I guess that's why I'm here. And that's probably why you're here too. You have the ability to make a difference with your vision, innovation, and fortitude as an entrepreneur. I just want it to be as easy for you as it is for me. If you'll allow me, I'd like to mention a few more ideals that hopefully you can adapt and make your own as you make your business a raging success. Let's call it Dave's Top 10, since no one's ever used that phrase before. First, have a company ethos or motto. Not something bland or superfluous like is seen on so many companies' mission statements, but something that you and your growing team will be proud to live up to. Maybe you're not curing cancer, but you're still doing something great. If you're selling a better candy bar, then do it for a reason and state it. Like, we're giving the world something to smile about. Whatever it is, it will give a daily sense of purpose for you and your employees to happily get up every day and get into the fight. Second, take the scientific approach to entrepreneurship. The scientific method is the best way to ensure the success of your product or service. For those of you not in the sciences or not remembering your high school chemistry class, here's a quick reminder. First, observe. Observe what is happening in the part of the world that you're trying to affect. Next, ask a question. Why are we doing this and not this? What has been tried? Why hasn't this been tried? Is this really the problem? Then, identify and name the actual problem. That becomes your target. Knowing exactly what you're aiming at will save time and money and the incalculable frustrations of building the wrong solutions. Before building the solutions, then, develop a if-then hypothesis. If we do this, then this will happen. Then test it and retest it. This again will save you money and your sanity instead of building off of bad assumptions. And lastly, and this is really important, analyze your data. Is it perfect? Most likely not. And if not, then reframe the question just a little bit and retest it to be more precise. And then go for it. Of course, much of this is already built into entrepreneurship models, and that's for one reason. The scientific method works. Thank you, Galileo. Okay, third, give yourself room to fail. Even though we're at Moonshot, this is not Apollo 13. And failure is not just an option, it's a necessity. You have to fail, or you can't learn and improve. Better to fail early when it doesn't hurt so bad, rather than when astronaut lives or your company is on the line. And wear your failures as a badge of honor. Thomas Edison famously bragged about the number of times he failed at the light bulb. It seemed to work for him. It'll work for you. And fourth, pack a crap ton of patience. The overused phrase, "this is a marathon and not a sprint," is true. You may be ready to shift into fifth gear, but the world won't move on your timescale. And when things fail and timelines get delayed, and they absolutely will, make a plan for dealing with that. Personally, I suck at patience. This is a major stress point for me, so I suggest taking up meditation or kickboxing, or maybe even something more violent. Whatever helps you deal with the stress and fills in where patience fails. Fifth, find your courage and wear it like a suit of armor. You will be alone out there in the woods. You will doubt yourself. Others will doubt you. At times it'll look bleak, really, really bleak. These are the dark days where your mettle is really tested, and you may find it a convenient time to give up. But you can and will rise above. Now, don't be overconfident, but rather find the courage to persevere. And on the other hand, have the courage to change your path when your data and your gut tells you to. Courage is best paired with wisdom, and discretion is indeed the better part of valor. So, forget sunk costs. Don't lead your team off a cliff if you know it's coming. Be brave enough to make the tough decisions. Number 6, become interesting. You might be the smartest person in the room, or the hardest working, or have the best idea or product. But if you're not interesting, no one will listen. I know it kind of sounds like become cool, but actually it's not. The best way to become interesting is to become interested. Make sure whoever you're pitching to or selling to knows that you're interested in them and their ideas and their desires. This will automatically make you interesting to them. But go ahead and work on being cool too. Good luck with that. Number 7, have a point and explain it well. Not only should you have a point, otherwise, why the heck are you here? But you should know it backwards and forwards. Know it so well you can explain it in 144 characters, or on a Flagstaff elevator ride, which is not very long. People won't want to know more if they can't understand your initial point. And don't expect everyone else to automatically get the genius of your invention. Number 8, think in context. Know not only where you and your idea fit in the world, but also know the context around you. Sure, it's important to keep your eyes on the details of the business, but always think one level out and see the bigger picture. Context helps link your solutions to others' needs, even when it's not obvious. It's the lubricant that slides our piece into the puzzle, and it's the glue that sticks it there. Okay, number 9. I probably have already said this, but have great passion. Don't just care deeply about what you're doing, but care intensely about your success. Tenacity and grit are born out of great passion and responsibility. Passion is the fuel for your startup engine. Without it, your engine will just sputter out and die. Just like a romantic relationship. Once the passion is gone, it just kind of sits there. Keep refueling your team and your company with buckets of passion. And lastly, and what I think might be most important, number 10, be honest. Be honest with yourself and with your team and your customers and with your funders. You can buy a lot of things in this world and you can fake it with some people, but you can neither buy nor fake integrity. People will listen to you if you are interesting, but they'll follow you or give you money if you have real integrity. Okay, maybe that sounded more like a pep talk or a half-baked self-improvement seminar, but when I was asked to speak on what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur, I kept coming back to these 10 things. These things help me know the meaning in my work. And when you have meaning, you can move the world, or at least make a dent in it. I honestly wish you great success in your entrepreneurial endeavors. The world needs you to succeed, and I'm sure you will. Thank you for watching, but more importantly, thank you for getting out there and doing it. Thank you.